Good morning, how's it going? My name's Matt, this is my beard, and I have just woken up to the sound of my door being battered in by the postman. Yay! I'm happy though, I'm really happy. So, I got 2 books, which are still in the packaging. We'll open up these in a moment. I got my red letter. This is my update letter from the Brush Wielders Union, so we'll have a little look into that soon. And then we got these, and these are where it's at. Now, this is Scum and the Tyne, and Scum and the Tyne is my Necromunda event that I'm running in August. So on August 30th at Clubhouse, I'm running a Necromunda come and play kind of day alongside Chris Underhiver from Some City Radio. And basically the idea is, doesn't matter your skill level, you bring 1,000 points or 1,000 creds of your chosen gang, you come and have a bit of fun. There'll be some custom scenarios there, and also there's going to be like a really cool table, like a really cool table, like specific to the event and specific to the venue. But these are also the dice that I've had printed. I like them. I like them a lot. I need to get more. And then I've had my own dice printed because I'm going to sell them. So there you are. But that is my excitement this morning. 2 books, a letter from the Brush Wielders Union, and some dice. I am happy. So today I've got a couple of bits that I need to do. I need to do some stuff for Instagram, I need to do some stuff for TikTok, I need to do some stuff for Shorts, and then I also need to do some promo for Scum and the Tyne. And I also need to get some bits together from my room to prepare for a video for UKGE. And I also have, so I'm going into Clubhouse now, I'm working tonight. So there we go. Outside of that, seemed to be my favourite phrase yesterday. I noticed I said that at least 6 times over the course of the day. But yeah, I think I'm going to go and get myself ready and sorted out. Possibly grab some breakfast. And then, yeah, next time you see me, I'll be as fresh as a daisy and ready to tackle the world. Coming from you live from central Newcastle is Relentless Matt. Stuck in traffic. So side quest time. So basically, before I do some recording and before I go off to Clubhouse to do some work down there, I am off on a side quest. I am currently on my way to a place called Midlam Miniatures. So Midlam Miniatures is an independent retailer in the northeast, and they sell their own game system. Or own game systems rather, as well as board games and board gaming accessories, D&D accessories specifically. And what I'm doing is I'm currently en route, hopefully today, because I've been in this traffic for quite some time. I'm on my way to Midlam to pick up a little dice bag because it is one of my friends' birthdays, and as a gift I've got them some dice. So yeah, just a nice little present. But there we go. So I think now is probably as good a time as ever to do a little bit of a in-car chat, because in-car chats seem to be where I'm going to be getting the most content today. So basically I think I'm going to start off with events. Now I'm going to specify Necromunda Events because I came into the YouTube thing through a number of different avenues, but predominantly it was through JD and the Some Sea. Go and check them out if you haven't already. But then also There was also a podcast. Now, it was kind of, I've mentioned them before, which is Steve and Chris, who run Sump City Radio and SumpCon and Sump Wars as well. Now, my first ever event in Necromunda was SumpCon, and it was down in a place called Belper, which is about 45 minutes away from Nottingham, and it's a quaint little village outside of Nottingham, and it was nice. It was lovely to go down there, and I met Steve, and obviously I took Chris down as well, because Chris lives literally like 15 minutes from my house, so we ended up becoming quite close friends. And overall, I feel like it was quite possibly one of the nicest and most welcoming events I've been to in my both hobby and non-hobby life. And I've been to a fair few events, like for loads of different things, but specifically towards Necromunda, this was the first one. This was the very first one I ever went to, and I feel like it was just so wonderful to see so many passionate people and so many amazing miniatures and some great terrain and some great boards and all that sort of stuff. I mean, JD and the Sumpsy actually sent over some terrain to be used there. There was a guy called Matt from Hive Market Minis who came over from America for the event, which again, mind blown. Like, you know, so it's an international event. There was people from Germany there as well, if I remember rightly. But yeah, it was just a great day. And since then, there's been a bit more of an outcalling for more national events that all feed into each other. So for example, there's a one up in Scotland, and it was in Perthshire, but I believe it's moving to Falkirk, I think, which it's called Aggression, and it's run by a lad named Grant. And Grant is just an amazing, funny guy. Like, he's really good crack. Like, I've got a lot of time for Grant. And I think, so he's had 2 events now. I think his next one's in November, I think. So, dear me. So yeah, that's his event. And then Chris and I have our event, which is Scum on the Tyne. So that's in Newcastle, and it's a little bit more sort of central for people. So, like, it's like a 5-hour drive from here to London, and it's about a 5-hour drive north to like top of Scotland. So we're kind of like in the middle of everything, even though we're classed as the northeast, not the Midlands. But you know, hey ho. We're also right next to the A1, and we're also next to Newcastle train station, which is like it's like the main train line that goes, you know, north and south. So we're in a good position to accommodate for people to travel, and there's loads of car parks nearby and all that sort of stuff. So we're in August. So our event's it's on August 30th, and then you've got SumpCon, which is October 16th and 17th, or 17th and 18th, or 18th and 19th. It's one of those 3. I could be wrong, but it's the weekend. It's a weekend event, and I'm really looking forward to it. Then obviously the date's it's not been announced yet for Aggression, but that is coming. So there you go. But yeah, so I think for me, I am in a position at the minute whereby I'm really looking forward to the events that are ahead of us. And one of the big challenges I've got currently is terrain. So I'm looking to, I've got one completely custom board being built for Scum on the Tyne. And so me and a few others are getting together to do a very special Scum on the Tyne specific board, which will be like a permanent fixture, so to speak, for Clubhouse. But then also we've got about 3 or 4 other projects for that weekend, well, for that day, which then leaves us with about 6 boards left to make. Now, the boards are actually quite easy to conceptualize, but to get everything together for it is a different kettle of fish, because, well, let's put it this way. Clubhouse has loads of terrain, and so you can just make it however you want. However, there's going to be certain scenarios that we may want to have a little bit more in the way of advanced terrain. and more specific to Necromunda terrain. So there's a couple of things that I'm doing ahead of time to be able to get some decent terrain done. So I've been speaking to a couple of 3D printers that I know, and they're going to be creating a couple of different bits and bobs for me. And I'm paying for this out of my own pocket. You know, it's not funded by ticket sales or anything like that. You know, it would be lovely if it was, but I'm doing this out of a love for the community. You know, it's my own money I'm putting into this at the end of the day, because I just want the community to feel like they've got somewhere to go, and I want the community to feel welcomed. Like Newcastle hospitality, like Geordie hospitality, is one of the nicest things. Like, Geordies have got a really weird reputation for being like these Icelandic warriors who don't put clothes on when it's -10 outside. But then also, like, you know, like the Geordie whale song, for example. Like, it's one of my favourite jokes from Al Murray. He talks about the Geordie whale song. It's like, it's just brilliant, man. But like, I joke, but what I'm trying to get across here is that people from Newcastle are so approachable and so nice and so kind. There's only a small sector of them who aren't, and I think like it would be so nice to give that hospitality to the people of the Necromunda community, and to show them what we're made of, and to show them the great venue that we've got, and to show them just how nice it is up here. You know, like, it's just a nice place. And I'd like people to come more often. You know, I'd love to have more events such as Scum on the Tyne, that people can come and you know, and join in at. So yeah, it's going to be a good little event. I'm really looking forward to it. I think the next thing I want to move on to, I think, is going to be UKGE. So UKGE is fast approaching. We are but days away. I'm going to be going down with the Clubhouse guys. So I'm going down as Relentless Matt, but I'm also going down representing Clubhouse as well. And I've got my press pass sorted out. So I got that sorted out with the team earlier in the year. So I've managed to get that boxed off, so I'm really happy about that. But honestly, I cannot wait to go down. It is going to be so cool. Like, last year, so I went down last year for the first time. I did quite a lot of things for the first time last year, but last year I went down to UKGE for the first time, and it was like, how can I even put it? It was very overwhelming. Like, for somebody who's only been to, I went to London Film and Comic Con in 2017, I want to say, and then I went to it again just before lockdown. Did I? Was it just before lockdown? I think so. I think it was just before lockdown. But anyway, yeah, that's my only sort of. Oh, and I've been to like loads of like work related and work pertinent like conventions. So, for example, I went to the Big Data and AI Expo down at the Victoria Centre. I think it was the Victoria Centre. But yeah, and I've been to the Excel in London. I've been to a load of different accelerator expos and this sort of thing, like quite big and, you know, like national or international ones as well. So I'm used to them in that sense. However, when it's all things you want, that's when it's different. So when I went down to UK Games Expo last year, I went there and I was like, I want to buy everything. I want everything you can possibly muster. But I had to really, really kind of manage my money. I had to be really careful on the money side of things. Not because I couldn't afford to, but because I knew that if I started just spend, like, I'd be 300, 400, 500 quid deep, and it would be a problem. And I relented, and I restrained myself, and I restrained myself, and I only spent £49. £49. Now that is not much when you go to UK Games Expo. It actually costs us more to get there in petrol than it did to actually spend the money. I actually spent half of that ish on food before and after. So like when you kind of weigh it up like that, you think, well, actually, hang on, you know, exclusively on product, I only spent like 50 quid. Yeah, 48 quid or whatever it is. Yeah, 47, 48. It was either 47 or 48, I can't exactly remember, but it was just below 50. And I spent a little bit of money on things that I wanted. So I got 2 inks, I got some tweezers, and I got 2 metal cast models, but they were free because I bought some Turbo Dog paint from Exit 13 or Exit 23. I'm so sorry. Is it Exit 13 or 23? There's a company, they're great. I love them. Like, they really do some cool stuff. Specifically Turbo Dog. Like, I think they're the main importer of Turbo Dog paints in the UK. And I use those on my Paladin Forces. But anyway, so got some cool stuff from them. That's pretty much it. I didn't really get much more because it's pointless buying Warhammer because you can get it, you know, elsewhere for relatively cheap in comparison, especially when you know people. I didn't get any board games because there wasn't really any that kind of sprang to mind. Like there was, or kind of I became interested in. Like I was a little bit curious about the Creature Caster one because they'd just released their board game. So Creature Caster originally started out as like they did really cool big demon busts and demon models and like really large resin sculpts. And then they've kind of turned heel a little bit and added a board game using some of their smaller miniatures, which looks pretty interesting. And if they're there this year, which I'm sure they will be, but if they're there this year, I'm going to have a little look and I'll see if I can get some footage of it. But yeah, like there was some cool stuff that I did last year. I met miniature wargaming mini wargaming Dave. Yeah, that was cool. He was in his big corn Space Marine Gansey. That was fun. I met George, Joe and James from Siege Studios, which was kind of like a Meet Your Heroes type idea, because they really got me into the painting side, or like they helped me hyper focus on the process and all that sort of stuff. And I've been listening to their podcasts like for ages, and it was really nice to actually meet them in the flesh. I met Byron from Element Games and from Artus Opus, and that was a really cool. In fact, you know what it is? That was probably my highlight of the convention last year for me. So I was with Byron for about an hour and 15 minutes, and it was on his terms. So he was doing like he was basically doing a meet and greet, but he was also like, because it was the very start of the day, he'd sat down and he was like doing a bit of dry brushing. And I basically got like a one-on-one tutorial with Byron on dry brushing. And he asked me loads of questions, and I asked him loads of questions, but it was on his terms. Like I didn't feel as if I was encroaching upon his space or anybody else's time. Like he wanted, like I felt wanted in that conversation. And when you're meeting people who you sort of deify, or meet people who you have a lot of respect for, a lot of admiration for, the one thing you don't want to do is take up too much of that time. Like it's one of those things whereby you feel quite conscious to be like, well, I'm with this person and I don't want them to feel trapped in a conversation with me because I'm fangirling over them, basically. And that's what I felt. You know, I felt that he was giving me the time, and he was wanting me to be there, and it felt really good. I felt really nice about that. That's what I took away from it. And it would be nice to see him again. You know, I would love to speak to him again. You know, it'd be great to have a conversation with him, because like he really left a mark. He really left a positive like experience for me there. So yeah, overall, like last year's UK Games Expo was amazing. Like I really liked it. Oh, Lizard of Doom! I bumped into Lizard of Doom. So Lizard of Doom, Max, he was with his other half, having a little look around, and I bumped into him. And I was like, "Are you Max, Lizard of Doom?" And he goes, "Yeah." And we just had a quick chat and had a photo. But like, I don't think, because he's recently really popped off, and I mean, I think he only had, like, at the time about maybe 1,000 to 1,500 subscribers, and I think he's now on like 10 or 11,000. Like, he's really kind of like, he's exploded. But I don't think he was expecting to be recognised, and I think actually no. Yes, so this is what he said. So he didn't expect to be recognised by people. However, there was a handful of people who did actually recognise him there, and that was class. So yeah, overall, like, last year's UK Games Expo was amazing. Really enjoyed it. So this year, as I say, I'm going down, and I've got a bit of a objective, so I now know what I'm looking to do. So this year, I'm going to be doing a load of filming, obviously, for the channel. I'm going to be doing a couple of interviews as well. I've got one booked in for a game called Malediction. I was really keen to get involved with them, because like, Malediction, to me, has kind of been purveyed as Magic the Gathering with models, which, to me, that's like the match made in heaven. Like, I love Magic the Gathering. I play Commander, that's my thing. Like, I really enjoy playing Commander. I don't play it nearly as much as I used to, but when I do, it's really, really good fun. But then also there's some beautiful sculpts there as well, and there's like a good rich lore to be had and that sort of thing. So I've got an interview with them in the middle of the day, which I'm really looking forward to. There's a couple of other vendors who I've booked in time with to speak to, and overall I'm looking forward to it. Like, I want to have some time for me, obviously. I want to have some time for me to be able to enjoy UK Games Expo, but I also want to make sure that I get some good content for UK Games Expo, because I actually want to do some work with UK Games Expo next year, which that'll be amazing. Because what they're doing for the community it's amazing. You know, it is a business at the end of the day, so obviously it makes money, but secondary to that, they're also doing a great service to the community by bringing all these great vendors, both big and small, together, and they're empowering the people to be more, like, aware of what's going on in the wider gaming community, and that's really beautiful. I really like that. The same could be said about things like Salute, you know. Like, the more I think about it, the more, like, there's like Salute, there's UK Games Expo, there's London Film and Comic Con, there's like all your little national Comic Cons as well. Like, some of them are good, some of them are not so good, but I mean, that's just part of the course, really, isn't it? You know, you're going to find that there's going to be some cons that are just horrendous and they only cater to the organisers' friends, which, again, that's fine, you know, it is what it is. But if you're attracting people from afar who have an expectation of X but you're only delivering Y, then that's quite a scary concept to work out, you know, because you're letting a lot of people down. So yeah, anyway, so I think that just about covers it. I am now going to by the way, in the 20 minutes we've been talking, I have advanced about 200 yards. So there we go. I don't think I'll be going back home before I go to work. I say work, it's not really work, I just work behind the bar and I look after the people there. It is work, but it's not work. It is work? It's not work. It doesn't feel like work. And work that doesn't feel like work isn't work in my head. Like, it doesn't feel like work. I just go there and, like, see some really cool people and pour pints and argue with the coffee machine because I don't drink coffee, so I don't understand it. So therefore, when somebody says, "Can I have a latte?" and I'm looking at this big silver coffee making machine and I'm like, what do I do with this? How do? Yeah, I'm still learning the coffee machine, but still. Anyway, right, I am going to crack on driving, and I shall catch up with you guys once I have picked up this dice bag. I shall speak to you in a bit. And there we have Midlam Miniatures. Now, I don't think these guys are going to allow me to film inside. However, I'm just going to quickly run in, see if they've got a dice bag for me, and take it from there. So yeah, let's go! And there we go. We got a dice bag. Hooray! Fits all the dice in. Absolutely perfect. So there we go. Now, I did also pick up 2 of the VGC fluo range bits. Don't know why. Well, I do know why. It was to top up my card transaction. But I got the fluo green and this magenta pink thing. Pretty cool. Yeah, just see how that pans out. Just a bit of fun. But outside of that, I think I'm going to go get myself some food, and then I think we're going to get ourselves down to Clubhouse, I think, because it'll be just about time to open up. I'm quite hungry, so I think I might grab myself a KFC. Oh yeah, and it's raining really badly. I say really badly. It's just annoying. But anyway, let's go to Clubhouse. And it's now past midnight. Sorry about that. I was going to try and get some footage of Clubhouse, but it was really busy. And yeah, it was a good night, really good night, but it was busy. So there we go. So overall, generally a successful day. I do have a couple of clips that I need to now make tomorrow instead of today because I didn't have the time because I was stuck in traffic for 2 hours, but that's a different conversation. If you're enjoying these vlogs, let me know. Just drop me a like and feel free to subscribe. But outside of that, I've been Matt. This has been my beard, and catch you guys tomorrow or today. Is it today? I think it's today. Yeah.